Welcome back to another online battle. This one's going to be a 2v2. I'm playing as the Empire, my ally BRETONNIA, and we're playing against the vampires. Two lots of vampire armies. And you can see my army right there. I've kind of gone for quality over quantity in this one to see how I fare. I'm quite outnumbered by that first army, as you can see, but that doesn't always spell disaster. So here we are atop the hill. We've stationed up the hill, and, well, let me show you my allies' army to start with. It's pretty much just trebuchets. Lots and lots of trebuchets. Which personally, like, there's nothing wrong with it, because the game allows you to bring that many trebuchets. If the game didn't want it, then they'd put some sort of cap on it. But it is a bit shitty, let's be honest, and frowned upon. But it's actually a terrible move on his part, because you never need this many trebuchets. And sure, you have the range advantage, but what happens when you come into melee combat? You can literally do not a lot, because you've got 5 units of spearmen. That's it. So, not a good plan overall. But I brought some Demigryphs. They're always a good plan. And some Empire Knights as well. Let's have a look at these boys. They are one of the best looking units. Beautiful. So I've got them. The bulk of my army is made up of greatswords and handgunners pretty much. The odd spear unit. Now the enemy has placed about 6 units of Black Knight cavalry in these trees over here and some spearmen. They are hidden though, so at this point we couldn't actually see them. Bar maybe 1 unit, I think. And this is one of the main armies. Well, they're probably kind of combined. I can't tell whose is whose, but they've got lots of grave guard, lots of skeleton spearmen. So this guy was expecting a lot of horses, as he is facing BRETONNIA. And of course, the potential of Demigryphs. So they got some Crypt Ghouls, some Vargheists. More Vargheists, more grave guard. They're not really in any kind of formation at the moment. But then I guess they don't really need to be at this point, as long as they're out of range of us. They've got a lot of Black Knights hidden in trees. That seems to be their game at the moment. So it's just a mild stalemate at the moment. We're sent up top the hill with our trebuchets. They're obviously not coming up the hill because they're not stupid. And we've got a million trebuchets and they have to walk up a hill so they get destroyed. But it seems like at this point each team has one good player and one bad player. I'll let you decide which is which. But all I'm saying is this guy played as BRETONNIA and didn't bring any cavalry. Normally when I see things like this, like someone bringing just tons of artillery, or like a gimmicky army, I usually just leave because it's just boring and it's not fun to play at all. But he's moving up his archers here, but he's moving them up without any support. And there's, as we've seen, a lot of Black Knights in this tree. And we knew these were here, we could see them, not all of them were hidden. And this guy seemed like he knew what he was doing. He was drawing arrows like over here before to show me that there were Black Knights in the trees, which I already knew, but you know, it was good that he was trying to communicate at least. So he seemed like he might know what he was doing, but you know, he did bring 10 trebuchets. And he's moving his archers up without any kind of support. He could have just sent one spearman unit, one halberd unit with them. That would have been it. That would have been all they needed to protect them from those Black Knights. But he obviously didn't think, and I didn't notice this at first. I was off looking around the map, looking at his units and stuff, the enemy units. Then when I did notice that he was pushing out his archers by themselves, I started drawing lines from the Black Knights in the trees over to his archers to show that this is what's going to happen. They're going to come and fucking wreck you if you don't pull back. But of course, I don't think he understood what I was trying to say. So I send my Empire Knights over there in a bid to save him. I'm like, oh fuck, got to get there quick. Try and save this fool. And what he's moving his archers up to do really isn't worth it. Like, the only thing over there is skeleton spearmen. Is it really worth moving up 3 units of archers to attack skeleton spearmen? Probably not. But he starts to pull them back now. I think he finally realised what I was trying to say. The Black Knights are just about to be on their way. My Empire Knights have just reached the top of the hill, so they're going to be coming down now. I'm racing there to try and save him. Then he seems to start moving towards the Black Knights. So, let's follow the Black Knights. Watch them destroy them. My Empire Knights are top of the hill. Oh, are we going to get there in time? Oh. So because I issued the attack order on the unit, I think it made them miss. If I'd left my... Oh, the guy was fucking flying. If I put the path of my Empire Knights in front of the Black Knights, I think I would have got to them before they got to the archers. But, yeah, the attack order screwed me over a bit there. But now we're getting into these Black Knights. He's bringing another unit over, though, which spells disaster for me. And he's cast a spell. He's got Manfred over there. I brought Franz over to watch, apparently. But my Empire Knight starts to struggle. I did kind of manage to save his archers, though. But I decided to bring in the big boys, the Demigryphs, to try and save my Empire Knights a little bit. They're a-coming.
Come lads! Slayer! Make me proud of the province!
My Empire Knights have routed. They're not out of the game yet. They're broken but not shattered. Trying to get into these Black Knights. Kill as many as we can. Try to save the archers. Because he doesn't really have a lot else other than halberds, so it could end up as a 2v1 if he destroys the archers. So it's in my best interest to try and save them. And also get some kills on these Black Knights. They start to waver pretty quick when they come into contact with the Demigryphs. Manfred starts casting some spells on them though. Try to bring them down, which is a good idea. This guy was actually pretty good with his spells, the enemy guy. One of them. He was casting a lot of spells at good times. Doing quite well with it. So here you'll see him try to lock down my Demigryphs. You'll see him bring 2 Skeleton Spearman units in. But I'm going to do my best to avoid them. Over here I've got Franz into Manfred. I saw an opportunity for a one-on-one. Franz being a duelist, so this is a good matchup for him. Although I'm not sure it counts when he's on Deathclaw, but Deathclaw's pretty damn strong himself, so I thought I'd take the opportunity. Also stops Manfred casting spells. Nearly got him down to half health. There we go, half health. That's a good bit of damage I've done there. I'm going to get Franz out of there now. Put Manfred on his arse on the way out. Send in my Empire Knights to just take over. But there's some Black Knights on the way. All the while, I've got my Demigryphs out of the way of those anti-large units, because they're a large unit, so they will get beaten down by spears. We have to avoid those. I see all the large units ahead though with my Demigryphs. They're the halberd kind, the anti-large destroying kind, so I send them down. One of my Demigryphs got stuck, just running over Skeleton Spearmen. So down here, some Vargheists have just arrived. There's also some Black Knights around, so we'll deal with those pretty easily with halberd Demigryphs. They shouldn't last too long at all. These red Mohawk bastards. My Empire Knights are shit themselves. They've gone. Skeleton Spearmen are just about to arrive. But I'm doing quite a lot of damage to these units at this point. These Vargheists have nearly lost half their health. But when those Spearmen arrive, I do not want to hang around, so I'm going to get my Demigryphs out of there as quick as possible before they tie me down. We destroyed the Black Knights there just before we leave, which is brilliant. So I'm getting the hell out of there so I don't have to engage with the anti-large. We'll run through the trees. The Spearmen are wavering a little bit. They've taken quite a lot of trebuchet fire. Manfred is again casting spells on the Demigryphs. He knows how important this unit is and how strong it is. So he's trying to bring it down any way he can. He's sending everything after it. The Vargheists are coming. Skeletons are coming. Spells. He wants this unit dead because he knows how dangerous they are. And I, of course, don't want this unit dead, so I'm doing my best to get them out of there. He foolishly decides to try and charge, though. The Vargheists actually attack my Demigryph, so I'm like, alright, come on in. You want some? You want some, I'll give it you. Vargheists are no match for halberd Demigryphs. Watch them fall. I bring my Empire Knights around the back as well. Try and get a cheeky charge in. But they fly away just in the nick of time. Oh, managed to get one. Managed to get one just before he flew off. So I'd say we've mostly won that engagement. We've routed a couple of Black Knights and stuff. Destroyed the Vargheists a little bit. Of course, there's more Black Knights still around. He seemed to have a hell of a lot of Black Knights, to be honest. There was a lot of them. He's coming after my Demigryphs and my Empire Knights. Trying to get a cheeky charge. They're taking some missile fire. He's going to charge my Empire Knights in the back. It's going to be pretty bad for them. They start to shit themselves once again. Demigryphs come to the rescue. Start tearing through more of these Black Knights. Spearmen are still coming. Those Skeleton Spearmen don't give up. Once again, I must avoid those Skeleton Spearmen. So you'll see me pull away from this in a second because I don't want anything to do with them. Not a damn thing. But we seem to have won for the most part over here. These Skeleton Warriors are being defeated by halberds. And Franz is there to help as well. There's a lone rider. Who's that? I think that's the remnants of my Empire Knights. Go on, fella. Get out of here. Save yourself. He's determined to damage my Demigryphs. Charges in his Black Knights. They manage to waver themselves. That's just how ridiculous Demigryphs are. The Spearmen are back though, of course. But they seem to actually be going after the halberds now, which is odd. The one opportunity he finally got to attack my Demigryphs with his spearmen, and he's sent the spearmen after the halberds. Weird. The rest of their army seems to be chilling back still, staying out of the range of the trebuchets, I imagine. We're pretty much just cleaning up over here now. We've won this battle. That's what I liked about this battle. It was kind of loads of little battles, rather than just both armies on each side moving up and just clashing and it all being over in like 10 minutes. So it's kind of cool. Just little engagements. If you win the little engagements, then you're more likely to win the big engagement, which is inevitable. So we've won this for now. We're going to start moving back up the hill a bit, but we're also going to start pushing forward with the main bulk of our army. Still a lot of horses over here though, so we still got to keep an eye on these boys. Some spearmen in there as well, so it is a good idea. What he's done here is kept a unit of spearmen with his horses, so if he got charged by Demigryph, for example, he'd have those spearmen there to help him out. They're not going to do amazingly against Demigryphs, of course, they're Demigryphs, but they will help the horses a bit with the anti-large, so a good move there by him. So I'm starting to move up my army now. Trebuchet boy is taking his time about moving up. I think he's coming up now. So we're going to start pushing on the main force. He's starting to make some moves with his Black Knights though, on the left. Starting to shift him around. Pretty cool looking unit. So I bring over friends just to keep an eye on him. We've discovered some more units. He's going after all these units in the trees. And we didn't know these spearmen were there until he just discovered them. So that's a cheeky surprise. But he's got the king of the Bretonnians. I forget his name. But he's pretty tough. He's a hard man to kill. Let's watch him on a charge. That's a lot of dead skeletons. So he's starting to push down on this left side now, getting all these units out of the trees basically. Trying to move them round. They've all spread out now though. They've all run out all over the place. One up there. I brought my Demigryphs over just to deter him from doing anything with this little unit on the left. We've got some spearmen coming down now as well. Halberds. The bad boys there. So he's just finishing up on the skeletons. I'm starting to move down the hill now. He's coming as well. Taking our time though. No need to rush down the hill. No need to rush into any engagements. We've got the ranged advantage, so we have no need to rush. We can sit back for now. And we are up on the hill as well. So he starts to push down the left side of the map now. He brings a bit of a strange little force. He's got one unit of halberds, his king, and 2 units of archers. Which is not the most impenetrable force in the world. But there you go. So we're moving down the hill now. Spread it up a bit so we can crack on. Setting up for some destruction. So yeah, here he is with his little force. So one unit of halberdiers. He's got all 3 of his archers there. And he's facing like Black Knights. There's some other units coming down. Crypt Ghouls. Crypt Ghouls aren't too bad. They've got quite high weapon damage, I think. They look like weird tribesmen. If he can get those into those archers, it's going to be good night for the archers, most probably. We're all up on the hill. That looks cool. Yeah. More Crypt Ghouls on the left. So you've got to get past the halberdiers though. That's no easy feat. He's got some Black Knights with him. One of his archer units is routing already, just from the sight of the Crypt Ghouls. So that'll be another little battle. He's also moving some more cavalry around the right hand side. This guy loves a flank. He's an absolute flanker. So he's bringing them round. Not quite sure what for yet. Brought my Demigryphs over to deter him anyway. And lots of ranged. So we can deal some damage before he even gets to us, should he try. So another one of these small battles has unfolded. And of course, inevitably and expectedly, his force has been destroyed because it was mostly composed of archers, who don't do well against horses or Crypt Ghouls. But the king, as I said, is an absolute monster, so he'll hold his own for a little while. But I did actually get quite worried that he was going to die, and that would then obviously probably make most of his army after that rout during any engagement. So I was like, what are you doing pushing down like that with your general, you absolute maniac? But as you can see, he's holding his own at the moment. He's taking on these Crypt Ghouls. Not losing really any health yet. What a beast. Meanwhile, what else is going on? He's still flanking round our right side with 2 units of Black Knights and now a unit of Vargeist as well.
Detachments move.
So I'm trying to move into position to prepare for that, to fight that off. I'll bring my spears up.
Let's go.
I imagined at this point he was trying to get to the trebuchets, which is of course exactly what he was doing. Because just look at him. All the trebuchets. Over here, his halberders have come back. His king's still not lost much health. Still taking heads.
Seeking enemy. Come on.
Just about to arrive with his Vargeists and Black Knights. Got the Demigryphs on standby. Let's watch these. And their Vargeist arse cracks. Nice. They've all got like little red pubic wigs on. It's a bit disturbing, in all honesty. Anyway, we prepare for this. Another little battle. Like I was saying, it's all just little battles at the moment. They do seem to have a lot of Black Knights though. They have an unlimited supply, it feels like. They just keep coming and coming and coming. We keep killing them and they keep coming back. Or just keep coming. Maybe he's resurrecting them. I don't know. Is that a thing? I don't really know how the resurrecting thing works on vampires. King's still going though. He's fighting off the Crypt Ghouls. He's finally going to reinforce his king with some halberdiers. But they've all run away. See, his king's barely lost anything. Man's an absolute one-man army. The Vargeists are getting stuck into some trebuchets now. He runs off his halberdiers after them, leaving me to try and save the rest of his trebuchets from these Black Knights. Demigryphs into one unit. I'll get my spearmen into the other ones. They're trying to charge the Demigryphs. Most of them missed. I need to move my spearmen up into them. Come on, me. I was trying to get my ranged on them as well. Spearmen are moving up. Go and help out the Demigryphs. Not that they need it, because they're ridiculous. Starting to go up. The spearmen have arrived, so that should be fine on that engagement. As long as we can keep them tied up a bit, it should be okay. One unit starting to escape. Shouldn't last long with the Demi-Demis. I send my spearmen after the other batch of Black Knights. There's one apiece now. Starting to tear them up. And then poof, they're all dead. So we managed to thwart that attack. And everything's lovely on our flank. So now we can begin to move down the hill some more. His trebuchets are popping off. It's a pretty cool shot. So I'm starting to move down the hill towards the tree line now. His army's taking a fair bit of trebuchet fire. Those Grave Guard, that's the last unit he wants to get hit by that. Don't know what they were doing stood up there. See, when someone has this kind of artillery superiority over you, by having just tons of artillery, you need to rush them. If you sit back like this in range of their artillery, you're just going to get destroyed. That's the whole point of artillery. So they needed to have all of their units completely out of range of the artillery, forcing them to come down the hill, forcing them to get on flat land. And when they got on flat land, rush up, and you can just deal with them that way. It's the only way. You can see what he's doing there. It's quite smart what he's doing, and quite stupid of my ally not to realise what he was doing. He moved up a unit of skeleton spearmen and was just running them around in front of the trebuchets, getting them to fire at it, and thus using up all its ammo. You know, it's only a unit of skeleton spearmen, so it's kind of a waster, not a big deal. But look how much ammo is going on this one unit of skeleton spearmen. He's got them on fire at will, clearly. He's not thinking. I tried to tell him stop wasting your ammo on one unit of fucking skeletons, but this donut didn't understand. So he pretty much wasted half his army on one unit of skeletons. A clever move by my opponent, though, to take advantage of this guy's foolishness. See, they've all nearly run out of ammo now. And they're still firing. Still firing on the one unit of skeletons. But we're pressing ever nearer to the finale of this. They've got a few melee units left. They've got quite a big... More cavalry, more Black Knights on the left. From somewhere. Don't know where he spawned them from. Got some more Vargeists, some Crypt Ghouls. They're very spread out. He really likes these little battle engagements. I start to move into the trees now. Help conceal my units a bit. Which is what they've been doing for most of the fight. Hiding all their units in trees. Making it hard to know... For us, hard to know what we're running into. And getting all these little surprises when we do move up. So we just lie in wait in the trees for now. Still got some treb ammo going. He starts to regroup his army by the looks of it. He's moving over, trying to create some sort of force, rather than having everything scattered like he does. I'm pushing through the trees now. Time to press the attack, finish the job. I've got like 5 units of greatswords, I think. That should be able to cut through whatever they have. Mostly Graveguard now, being the most dangerous unit of theirs. Got a bit of Vargeists, but they're not a massive deal. You got Halberdiers and Demigryphs to deal with those anyway. And some more units have been discovered. This is more of these units in the trees. Skeleton Warriors, they're going after the Trebuchet fellas. I don't even know what you call them, Trebuchet men. Let's watch these boys run up. Not sure about these hats. Some of these hats are not the best battle attire, if I do say so. They look like French painters. What are we doing? This is actually a really beautiful map. Some of that stuff in the distance looks awesome. Look at that. Look at those mountains in the background. The sun. It's amazing. Here comes some always dangerous skeleton spearmen. Oh shit! Spearmen! Yeah, we shouldn't have any trouble there. Bringing up the Graveguard though, they might give us some trouble. Got Von Carstein still around as well. I imagine they probably have 2 Von Carsteins. I'm surprised they didn't Spirit Leech the crap out of my Franz. Or of the King. Vargeists are coming in now as well. Ooh, would have been better to come around the back with them, I think. Getting a rear attack. He's casting some more spells. He loves a spell. Franz is coming over. I see an opportunity to get some spears into some horses, but he spots it. Got the Demigryphs keeping an eye on things. So we're fighting across the front lines. Shouldn't have any trouble with these spearmen. We're cutting through them. Graveguard, he's cast a spell on some of my greatswords though, so they might struggle a bit. So Black Knight's still hidden in the trees. So Black Knight's behind us. Missiles are going okay. On the other side, of course, my trusty partner has been routed because he was trying to fight a battle with field trebuchetmen. But of course the general can't be killed. I think he might actually be the Hound. Trying to clear up some of these Graveguard though. Franz is getting a bit beat down. He's got some Vargeists on him. Got to be careful with that. Still buffing the crap out of his Graveguard. I move up one of my stationary units of greatswords though. Lots of missiles coming in as well. All the damage. There's more Graveguard over here, which is not good. We've only got so many melee units myself, so it would get risky. Got some of the greatswords in to help out Franz though. Oh, they actually have a wizard. They don't have 2 Von Carsteins. Gel Nipson. So they've got 2 casters. Well, obviously, all the Vampire Lords are casters, I think. Demigryphs are here now though. Come to save Franz. Once we get them out of the way, he won't have much left. Zombies, he's raised some zombies, some ever deadly zombies. I'm not sure they're going to save him though. Probably a good move though. It stopped my greatswords going after his wizard. Just discovered yet another unit of Black Knights in the trees. But he's not quite aware of them. And I've found them with my spearmen, so my spearmen are going to go and get them some. They're just going to stand there and take a rubbish spear charge. Go on lads, stab them. Pretty much tidied up across this front line now. The enemy lord is dead. He just went poof. And what may have been Heinrich Kemmler, I'm not sure, is now dead. But there are more Graveguard and Skeleton Warriors incoming, so we've got to prepare for that. I start to line up some of my great swords. But rejoice, the field trebuchetmen have come back. The bulk of his army, my ally. People start to rout. The field trebuchetmen are going crazy. They're not afraid of no Graveguard. Great swords not either. Ooh, little charge, little charge. Not much of a charge, but a little charge. They've been attacked in the back by field trebuchetmen. No! What an embarrassing end. You've been flanked. You know it's a bad day when you've been flanked by field trebuchetmen. The Graveguard are starting to get the better of my greatswords though. So they're not out of the running yet. My other units just stood there. Some handgunners up here as well. Karl Franz is off. I think he was trying to get the von Karstein, who has just dissolved, as has everyone else. Victory! A close victory. So there we go. Not a bad battle, but not a great battle either. Not really a technical battle by any means. Let's have a look at the kills. Great Swords did a lot. Demigryphs did a lot, of course. What about the enemies? We've got quite a few with some of their Black Knights. The Ghouls didn't do too badly either. I have quite a lot of my force remaining, surprisingly. Although I suppose I didn't really do that much until the end. It was mostly my Demigryphs that were just going around torturing Black Knights. But the thing to learn here that I wanted to talk about was how to deal with lots of artillery. When someone does something like that and brings like 10 fucking trebuchets, it's a bit silly and a bit ridiculous, but it is quite easily dealable with. And when you do deal with it, the enemy generally doesn't have a lot left. They've spent all their money on artillery, so they only ever have a couple of melee units. So they're quite easy if you can get past the artillery. Typically what I would have done if I was on that vampire army, I would have stayed right back out the way, wait for the trebuchets to come down the hill, like I said, and then rush up. When you've got a range disadvantage, you need to rush. Rush tactics are the best. If you sit back, especially with the vampires because they have no range at all, rush up and just try to get engaged with their units, because then if they keep firing the trebuchets at your units, they're going to hit their own units. And what he could have done there with all that cavalry, they had so much cavalry, if they'd come up behind us when we started moving down the hill a bit, they could have brought like 6 units of cavalry right behind us and just charged down the hill into those trebuchets, instead of wasting them like randomly like they were doing, like in these small little battles. It was fun to play, but for them, not the ideal strategy to be throwing your units away, especially when I've got something like Demigryph that's just tearing them all up. But yeah, other than that, a fun battle to play. Like I said, not the most technical one. A couple of newbie players, but that's part of the game at the moment because everyone's quite new, but still enjoyable. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this maybe a little bit useful and informative, and I'll see you in the future.